Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to look at scaling the car and getting it ready for a practice day. All right, so as you can see we have the car on blocks, or I guess I have the car on blocks. The rest of the crew guys are away at the moment, but we put it on blocks here, just regular wood, nothing too fancy. And I know other guys have a whole bunch more fancy stuff, but I do not. So that's what I've got. So if you look at them, they're just exactly the same height as the front and back. A couple things are left in the scale pads that I do need to take off. But get the car onto the blocks and then fill up the tires with air, make sure that those are set right. I guess everybody does their own different things for that. And then we'll start scaling. Inside there's a whole bunch of weight. Yeah, not too exciting, not very fancy, but seems to work pretty all right. And with that, I just have to make sure that that weight is the same weight as what I am. So once that's all done, then I roll the car forward and have a look at it. Now, these scales, I don't know if you can see that, wait for it. So these scales here are super old, which is fine. They still work pretty well. So with that in for me, that weighs 2,794 pounds. So our rules allow us to weigh 2,800 pounds. So there's a little bit that I need to do in order to fix that up, but it's a pretty good start so far. That's really about it. So when I'm scaling the car, I look at a couple of different things. I look at the total weight, which like I said, we're allowed 2,800 pounds. So I set the car to 2,800 pounds and maybe have a couple pound leeway. Then our left side weight, we're allowed 58%. So I set the car to 58%. And then we look at front weight and then we look at cross weight. And those I'm not gonna tell you about because everybody kind of does their own thing. So I guess that'll vary a little bit. I mean, it's all pretty close, but as far as what all the competitors run, but we won't go into that too much. So if I want to make any changes to the car, then what we have to do is use our springs, our coilovers, and adjust them. So these rings here on the top, these ones move. If I take this ring and push it down, then that'll end up lifting up this end of the car. If I take this ring and bring it up, then that will lower the car. And there's a certain ride height that we want to be set at that works for us, and there are some rule requirements with that as well. And then we need to use that in order to be able to get our weights set. So every one of the wheels has a weight on these pads, and these pads here will tell you what each wheel actually is weighing. With its own preload and that sort of stuff. The other thing, this thing here, what that does is that'll measure our travel. So this one here, this has this little teeny little washer, and we'll measure that and see how far the shock goes down. So today actually was pretty lucky. I just rolled the car onto the scale pads and had a look at what we ran last year, and it was it. So it didn't need any adjustments, which was pretty great. A lot of the time it gets pretty difficult, but today was pretty all right. So that's all set. We make sure to check everything full of fuel and the way that the car races. So that's kind of it. Thanks for watching.